Welcome back to Cinema Recaps. Today I'm going to explain science fiction fantasy film titled Full Metal Alchemist. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. A mother is placing blankets on the ground for her children in a rural area far from the city. Two brothers rush to their mother, joyfully showing their accomplishments, after combining a variety of elements in the transmutation circle. When the boys go outside to play, the mother gives them a loving hug to demonstrate her love for them. She passes out on the floor after succumbing to an unknown illness. Because the brothers don't want to lose their mother forever, they concoct a plan to change her into something else. The human body was created by combining all of its constituent elements. They place the things in the center of the alchemy circle and begin the ritual. A lot of energy builds up inside the house, and the brothers know something is badly wrong. The house is ripped open by the conjuring powers, and the two are lifted into the air. One by one, frantically trying to recall each other's names. Many years later, Edward, the oldest brother, is looking for a priest in the city of Riol. With a mysterious red stone. Edward is compelled to flee the growing stone pillars because he can apply alchemy without drawing any transmutation circles thanks to the magical rock. The man then summons a horde of monsters and orders them to attack using the stones around him. On the other side, the young alchemist conjures a spear and slaughters the animals one by one. Another person in full armor rushes in and destroys the creatures with his bare hands, as he tosses the demons around and shreds them. However, the man's helmet is knocked to the ground, exposing that the armor within is empty. Edward is recognized after battling the creatures and displaying his prosthetic limbs. A well-known military figure known as the Full Metal Alchemist. The two pursue the man into the city, where he is punched by the main character. The man removes the stone from the fingers with his prosthetic arm. To maintain control, Colonel Mustang's troops arrives and apprehends both of them, resolving the issue as soon as possible. Mustang sets the so-called Philosopher's Stone on fire as it melts away, revealing it to be a forgery. Edward yells for the Colonel to hand over the so-called Philosopher's Stone, but Mustang sets it on fire as it melts away. Edward gets discouraged because he has been looking for the stone for a long time but has been unable to find it due to the outfit. Armor comforts him by saying that he is the younger brother of a man named Alphonse. The priest takes advantage of the opportunity to flee the soldiers as the colonel returns Edward to the HQ, leaving Alphonse to clean up the mess. What the public does not realize is that three mysterious persons are keeping an eye on them. People seem genuinely interested in the battle that just occurred. Colonel Mustang is attempting to persuade Edward to return to the military headquarters. No such thing as a genuine Philosopher's Stone exists. The young man, on the other hand, refuses to believe this because the object he came across possessed immense power. Mustang replies that the stone was only an amplifier, not something capable of human transmutation, which Edward passionately desires in order to restore his brother's body and life. Limbs that have been amputated. Captain Hughes, who is following General Hakuro to the combat, cuts them off in the middle of their chat. The senior officer extends a warm welcome to the young man, having heard much about the Full Metal Alchemist and anticipating seeing Alphonse, who is a living suit of armor. After the meeting, Edward is followed by Captain Hughes, who advises him to pay attention to what is being discussed. He does, however, admit that he was dispatched to this location by the central government to perform a mission. A search warrant has been issued because there is suspicious activity at this military base. Winry, Edward's childhood friend, interrupts their conversation by coming over to examine his prosthetic limb and lamenting how broken it is and how she needs to repair it again. The former priest, on the other hand, is meeting with three unknown people. They are cooperating, as seen by their actions. He blames his failure on the stone he was given, which he knows is a forgery, yet he is mocked by Lust, a woman, for believing in the existence of a genuine philosopher. Her accomplice, Envy, approaches the priest and transforms into him, while the lady extends her claws and murders the old man quickly. The second colossal guy, Gluttony, opens his jaws and devours the lifeless body. In a dream, Edward begins to have flashbacks about his previous life, when he first sought to transmute. He was able to resuscitate his mother using alchemy. He was transported to a realm in front of the Gate of Truth, which houses all knowledge. Within you is the entirety of the cosmos. Edward also comes across another entity claiming to be God, who opens the gateway for him and pulls him in with multiple hands. The man learns to see the truth of the universe, and eventually his mother. From afar he makes a last-ditch effort to contact her. He's returned to the White Room abruptly, but he now has significant sums of money in his grasp. Knowledge of alchemy, including human transformation. On the other hand, Edward begins to notice one of his legs vanish as it transfers to the unnamed deity, who informs him that this is part of the equivalent exchange. He awakens in the living room, one leg missing, and discovers that his brother Alphonse is also missing. It had also been taken. He is caught aback by the horror he has created when he looks over to the alchemy circle. which has nothing in common with his mother. Edward knocks over the suit of armor in the living room and demands to see his brother. He looks back as he begins to metamorphosis once more. As it gradually takes possession of the man's arm, the deity thinks him an idiot for returning here. The main guy is sweating hard as he wakes up, and his brother is watching him and exposing information. He believes he's had the same dream for quite some time. Colonel Mustang takes the kids to the Order the next day to see Tucker, an alchemist. For the most part. Because he thinks it will aid Edward in his search for the philosopher's whereabouts, stone. When they arrive at the mansion, they are greeted by the scientist, his daughter Nina, and their dog, Alexander. The alchemist appears to be very worried right now, as he is about to undergo a military evaluation that will determine his worth to the group. He shows Edward the chimeras he created by fusing several species into a single beast. Tucker recalls being able to make a talking chimera 2 years ago, which gave him a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. The beast merely said 3 words before submitting to the duty of state alchemist. Ed admits in their conversation that he offered his arm to attach his brother's soul with the armor, but as a result, Alphonse lost his memories of what happened during the human transition. He, too, stared through the truth's doorway. Tucker offers to help the young man by restoring his brother's memory and possibly providing additional information. Figuring out how to get their bodies to heal themselves, they leave Alphonse at the train station with Tucker and arrive after purchasing a train ticket. A tip concerning a scientist named Dr. Marco who may be able to provide more information about the philosopher's life and work stone. They arrive at the location where the doctor was last seen, and the girl immediately recognizes a man who looks like the man they're looking for and exits the train. The two pursue the trail to a hospital, where they enter only to be shot at by intruders. The doctor who believes they are members of the military. Edward reacts quickly, disarming the weapon and knocks the attacker unconscious before anyone is hurt. After Marco awakens, Edward demands to know the truth about the philosopher's stone, but the doctor refuses to help him, arguing that it is in his best interest for him to do it. Suddenly, the man notices something is wrong and fires a shot from behind them, revealing that Lust had been watching them the entire time. The woman continues to advance towards the doctor while the doctor fires again, but her wounds heal fast. She pins the man to the wall right away. Edward tries to help, but is forced back against the wall by the woman. She then stabs Marco in the heart and then vanishes. Edward runs up to the elderly man in an attempt to save him, but as he passes away, the doctor discloses that the truth of the stone's origins may be found in Laboratory 5. The main character rushes to board the train and returns to Tucker's residence as soon as possible. The next day, only to discover that everyone has vanished from the structure. On the second story, he eventually locates the alchemist, who reveals his most recent product. A chimera with the ability to talk. As the thing begins to speak, Edward examines it attentively and understands how terrible it is. The truth regarding its beginnings: Tucker created the chimera with the assistance of his daughter and their dog, and it's also revealed that his first chimera to talk was created after he experimented on his own wife, who also vanished at the same time. Edward charges at the man and repeatedly punches him, but Alphonse protects himself. He arrives just in time to prevent Tucker's murder by his brother. The men of Colonel Mustang arrive and sees everything in the house as proof, and apprehends the mad scientist for carrying out human experiments. Edward sobs in the rain alongside his brother, feeling helpless. He wonders how he will be able to reconstruct their bodies if he can't even save the small girl's life. With the help of Captain Hughes and his lieutenant, he spends the next 3 days inside the library. Ross is trying to figure out where Laboratory 5 is located. However, they are unable to locate any leads or evidence of Dr. Marco's existence. The general interrupts their investigation and claims to know where they are trying to find. Laboratory 5 is a nickname given to the military's cannery, according to Hakuro. It is no longer in use. Without asking any more questions, Edward rushes out the door, past the captain, and into the facility. They arrive at the building right away, but the 3 of them are unable to find anything unusual with relation to this site. On the map, Captain Hughes notices a pattern involving all 4 laboratories at the same time, previous to the 5th laboratory, forming a transformation ring that appears to encircle the entire city. The captain decides the location of the final laboratory by completing the geometry and determining its location. It occurs to him that it is housed within a prisoner of war camp. He turns around warily after hearing footsteps behind him and discovers that Lust has penetrated the military building. He immediately recognizes the markings on her chest, suggesting that she is a homunculus, hinting that alchemy was used to create her. The woman intends to kill the captain since he has too much information, but he manages to avoid her attack and squeak out of the room in the nick of time. The captain rushes to the payphone to alert the colonel of the secrets personnel in the military. He turns around to see Mustang when he detects a presence approaching from behind. is threatening him with a weapon. The captain is startled as the colonel morphs into his wife, and the assassin shoots him dead on the spot. The man returns to Mustang after watching the incident and walks away while bystanders run. Fortunately, the captain was able to call the real colonel and alert him of the situation. Before finally passing away at Laboratory 5. Edward and the others leave the cannery at the same time, only to be arrested by the soldiers. He is taken as prisoner and placed in a room with Lieutenant Hawkeye. The military is attempting to catch the colonel after witnesses saw him murder the captain, and they are being held captive as a result of their affiliation with him, she informs the Alchemist. Tucker, the insane scientist, has also managed to evade capture. By tricking the guards, the two, on the other hand, are able to flee the institution quickly. They were being escorted out of the room. Hawkeye reveals that Mustang informed her about Laboratory 5 and that she is currently en route there. He's suddenly on his own. When Edward and Hawkeye walk into the building, they see the colonel and Lieutenant Ross being attacked by military soldiers. When Mustang snaps his fingers and sets the lieutenant on fire, everyone is taken aback. The woman who has set herself ablaze. As the burnt body begins to stir again, the colonel begs the throng to relax. I was able to recover without any injuries. Envy was actually mimicking Ross, and desire appeared beside gluttony. On the side of their co-conspirator, gluttony grows into a giant mouth and chases the soldiers away while they shoot in fear. Before departing, she fires her claws at the colonel, injuring him in the stomach. The man was abandoned to his fate. Edward pursues the woman and is soon trapped in a chamber with a large transmutation circle. After snatching both Alphonse and Winry, he discovers Tucker threatening him with a gun. They will be killed if Edward tries to assault. The man then pulls out a Philosopher's Stone and tells Edward that he has been sent to the military to guard him, forcing them to employ the detainees in this building in secret. Dr. Marco and his crew have used human lives to make hundreds of the stones, and Edward will have to sacrifice more victims if he hopes to restore his brother's body. Before Tucker can complete his sentence, Lust stabs him in the stomach from behind. Wants to put a stop to the man before he discloses too many secrets. General Hakuro also makes an appearance, and he looks to have known the woman for a long time. He, on the other hand, intends to ruin her plan by attempting to build a big number of items out of the stones. Artificial creatures were made to form an army to govern this country. He begins injecting all of the stones into the lifeless bodies suspended from the ceiling, and the monsters begin to reanimate one by one before dropping to the ground. The general marches towards the monsters in the forest, feeling he has created the ultimate army. They all assault the man at the same time, devouring him alive with glee. The colonel attacks the monsters by engulfing them in flames, and he soon realizes that they are immersed in flames. You can kill them by slamming their heads together. He tells the lieutenant to gather the soldiers and shoot for the creatures' heads while he is away. He is on the hunt for the homunculi. Alphonse begins to regain his ability to move while Edward shields them both by fighting the beasts. The younger brother apologizes for kidnapping Winry as he hides her within his armor. On the other hand, Edward feels relieved that no one was hurt in the process. Lieutenant Hawkeye creates an army of men to assassinate the monster's leader at the same time that are on their way in this direction. They all begin shooting at the animals, one by one knocking them to the ground. Colonel Mustang follows the intruders and sets Envy on fire, but he falls due to the pain from his previous wounds. The woman laughs at the man's agony as she pretends to be immortal and shows him the world. She possesses a Philosopher's Stone that offers her incredible healing skills. She then attacks the colonel with her claws, but Edward intervenes and saves her. He hid them behind a self-built stone wall. The protagonist notices the woman boasting about her talent in order to attract attention. It was too late by the time her comrade realized Envy wasn't regenerating like she used to. Mustang seizes the opportunity to set Envy ablaze once more, and the homunculus perishes as he crumbles to dust. Edward is pinned to the floor by the woman, but a stone wall separates them. They are both destroyed, as are her claws. Alphonse realizes that he can use alchemy without a transmutation circle after he recovers. His reminiscences on the Truth Gate. Mustang sets the homunculus on fire when he notices the opponent has been hurt, and grabs the Philosopher's Stone from her breast, turning her into a stone to murder her. Gluttony is forced to hide from the soldiers while he grieves after learning that all of his friends have died. The colonel gives Edward the Philosopher's Stone, allowing him to finish his mission. Human sibling the protagonist slams his palms together and sees the Truth Gate for the second time. He turns to see Alphonse's body, which is no longer that of a boy. Edward is approached by the deity, who tells him to trade, but he declines at the last time. He is currently unwilling to use human life to advance his personal objectives. He pledges to return for his brother as he yells Alphonse's name. The alchemist returns to reality and apologizes to his brother, but Alphonse forgives him because he, too, refuses to utilize the stone because of its origins. They all watch into the distance as the sun rises again. Edward looks at his brother as they sit on the train and swears to discover a better method. While they continue to go into the future in order to return to their bodies, movie ends in that scene. Please like, share and subscribe to watch more videos like this, turn on notifications.